Well, hello. What's good, Pandy's peeps? Pandi here of Pandy's Hair Candy and More. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, welcome. If you already rock with me, you already know what it is. Greenleaf Season 5, Episode 1 is here. So grab your snacks and your beverages, kick back and relax and enjoy this review. Now, if you didn't do so on your way in, please be sure to blow down that like button for your girl. Otherwise, make sure you smash that like button for me on your way out. And if you really enjoy my recap, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free 99 after all. It didn't cost you anything. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right on into the Season 5, Episode 1 premiere of Greenleaf. The title was The First Day. So the episode began with us seeing Lady May sitting down in the mansion. She done up and went on a whole hunger strike, y'all. She's only eating lemons and hot water. She's on a cold, praying, and fasting mission. Okay? Meanwhile, we see Bishop and Grace at the church. They're on stage, and as they go outside of the church, there's a reporter out there. She's basically there reporting on the fact that Harmony and Hope is about to knock down the Greenleaf family church and replace it with a gymnasium. Now, what's weird about all of that is that the former Greenleaf parishioners were all up in arms in this episode about that, but in the previous seasons, they were fighting tooth and nail, hand in hand with Harmony and Hope to get the Greenleafs removed from the church. Now that they see that there's not going to be a church, now they want to come running back. Okay? So these were the ones who actually rallied and signed the petitions, and basically because they didn't agree with the direction that Bishop James was trying to take the church in, now, they want to abandon ship yet again, especially Miss Connie, the deaconess. Now we next see Charity come downstairs, because out of all people, she's become the associate pastor. She's kind of like defected from the family. She always was the black sheep anyway. They never really fooled with her, even though she's very gifted in the singing department and she's the director over the choir. They never really gave her any serious responsibility, and they pretty much take her as a joke. It's like next to Grace, they don't pay too much attention to Charity. But she's already in her feelings. She done defected. She's over there fooling with Phil from Hope and Harmony, and the family just ain't really too much feeling her right now. So her and Lady May, they kind of have some words. It's like a little bit of a heated exchange. And because Lady May feels that she's basically turned her back on the family and became a traitor, if you will, the usual tension is there between those two. Now, next we see Aaron come through. He's the lawyer, the son of Bishop's longtime buddy, the one who passed a couple of seasons ago. The other pastor, the one who we found out right before he passed that he's really Grace's biological father. Yes, that one. He's also the one who Charity's ex-husband ended up in a whole relationship with after they separated. So he walks in. He's talking to Lady May, who's babbling, clearly out of food deprivation. She's all out of sorts from lack of food. And then in walks Grace and Bishop. Now, as usual, Bishop is ignoring Lady May because he's still heated with her about the fact that she had once agreed to work with Bob Whitmore back in the day. So Aaron tells Grace that they need to get AJ before they go get brought up to speed on some of the newest developments with his case. And this is when we find out that the guy that we saw walking on the Greenleaf property grounds in the last season finale, the one who kind of left us with a major cliffhanger where we were trying to figure out who the guy was. Well, anyway, Aaron tells them that this young man has recently been killed and that he's also been named as a person of interest in all of the pharmacy burglaries, which we know AJ definitely committed. But what this does is it offers AJ a break. It kind of takes him off the hook for the charges. Now, AJ and Grace are not seeing eye to eye on this, where Grace is all excited thinking, okay, this is your second chance at redemption. AJ's, not really appearing to be happy about the news. So as AJ walks off, Grace follows him to see what's up with him. He's very uneasy about the whole matter. Like, he can't relax at all. He's on edge. And Grace tries to calm him down and get him to see the silver lining and how this is basically a chance for him to start over fresh. She convinces him to just basically let her take him and Sophia out for dinner so that they can kind of relax and talk things through. Now, AJ reluctantly agrees, but as soon as she leaves out of the room, we see him grab his duffel bag, gathering up all of his belongings with haste. And because he's a runner, he was preparing his exit strategy in his mind. That's what runners do, Now, as he passes the mirror, he rethinks his decision. Next, we see Grace go meet with Darius, aka Rick Fox. And he's still a bit brittle over the way things ended between them. So she asks a favor. The favor being utilizing his connections to dig into the past of the young man that was killed. So Grace is still slightly shook too off of his appearance on the grounds, like she's trying to learn a little bit more about who he really was. Even though he can, pretty much clear AJ, she's definitely conflicted as well. So it's going to be interesting to see, what the backstory is on him, which I'm sure we will over the course of this season. But basically, I'm hoping that we get a chance to, really find out who he was. Like, was he really the real son of Grace? And is this current AJ an imposter? It's just so many questions going through my head. Next, we see Carissa and Jacob. So we all saw that Carissa was given a will from her Hispanic Latin lover that she was cheating on Jacob with. The one who gave her chlamydia? Yes, that one. He also works for Harmony and Hope. So he gave her this will, and the will is on the property that the Greenleafs now own. She basically kind of approaches Jacob on the stance that, she's going to blackmail him by threatening to release it if he doesn't give her what she wants in the divorce. She basically feels like, Mac must have somehow blackmailed the original owner, killed her, and somehow conned her into signing everything over to him. Carissa's just all over the place, y'all. Excuse me. Jacob, he is totally over it. He's just like, whatever. But what he does do is he takes the will downstairs to Aaron to look over. And as Aaron's looking over the will, he does advise him to try to locate the previous will that superseded this one in an effort to find a witness or someone who could vouch for the validity of the changes. So this, of course, sends Jacob on a wild goose hunt trying to research Mac's dark past to see what he can come up with on his end. Meanwhile, Sophia, Grace's daughter, is out on a jog. She gets a call from Zora's little friend Nikki's ex-boyfriend. Yes, I know that was a mouthful. Zora's little friend Nikki's ex-boyfriend, the basketball player. He wants to come take her out on a date. Now keep in mind that Nikki is staying on the grounds with Zora, so she's a little leery about meeting up with him since the girl's staying there after all. But he's been pressing up on her to go further because, she's not ready for all that yet. She's still a virgin. I say good thing because when she does agree to go meet up with him later on in the episode, Nikki is actually there crying, looking all sad and teary-eyed, and it's just not a good look. So it's a good thing she didn't, go that extra mile with him because I'm sure she would be crushed. But Nikki's there, she's looking all sad, and Sophia asks him, so what's up? He tells her that he's taking her advice and trying to figure things out between them. She tells him that she's not mad, just hurt, and she leaves. And in my opinion, that's the best thing she could have done because I feel like she dodged a bullet continuing to carry on with this young man who clearly is conflicted about who and what he wants to do, would have been a whirlwind for her as a young lady. Now, next we see Jacob show up at the old church secretary's crib. The one from season 1. The one who he had an affair with. The one who Bishop fired and she later went to go work with Mac. That one. So she's brittle about how he just up and, did an unannounced visit. And Jacob, he just can't seem to take his eyes off the little girl that's running around. Like, he is totally fixated on her young daughter, who is very visibly mixed race, because the mother, the secretary, after all, she appears to be either white or Hispanic. So then Jacob proceeds to ask about Mac's belongings. He also asks if the baby was his, to which she responds, "If it was yours, I would not have kept her." And then as he prepares to leave, she reluctantly tells him that Mac did have an old storage locker. She gave him the location, and when he asked her if she ever been there, she tells him no. And when he asks her, well, why not? She tells him because she was afraid of what she might find, because we all know Mac was ruthless, okay? So then Jacob goes up to the location of where the storage locker is. He actually pays for an additional 6 months on the locker, so I guess, he can take his time and go through the belongings. So it's going to be real interesting to see what he uncovers because, like I said, Mac was involved in all kind of shady dealings. Next, we see Charity and Phil meeting up at the church. He's trying to pretty much prep and coach Charity for the Hope and Harmony board meeting so that they come across on this bogus united front. And Charity is not here for it at all. Little does she know, Phil is so gung-ho to land this gig that he has made a crazy deal with Bob Whitmore of Hope and Harmony to marry his daughter Judy in exchange for securing the deal with the board and becoming the pastor of the new Hope and Harmony Ministries, which will of course toss Charity completely off to the wayside. Now, of course, she's crushed after all, but she's also crossed her entire family getting romantically involved with him. And I guess she's kind of coming to grips with the fact that, this job is going to be pretty much just as important to her because no matter how degrading it's going to be, this is all she really has left because, no one in the family is really dealing with her. So in the board meeting, of course, she puts on a whole show. She carries on about this whole women's empowerment series that she plans to preach on her Sundays. And Phil looks extremely uncomfortable with her performance. She tells him that until his great white hope arrives, she's all he got. Now her friend, I forget his name, the little black gay gentleman, he used to be her former choir director. He overhears their exchange and he immediately follows her out of the boardroom and into her office, and he tells her that he wants no parts of it. And, I guess he's seeing that, something is going on between them, and he's just already peeping game right off the rip that he's not finna get involved because he's all about the ministry and he's not there for the mess. Now, back at the Greenleaf mansion, we see two of the old church parishioners, two older women, and one is one of the older woman's granddaughter. I forget her name, but she used to be Lady May's assistant. The kind of heavy-set, light-skinned lady with glasses. So anyway, they show up and they're, frantically asking Bishop and May to help them get the church back. And Bishop decides, you know what, we're going to pray about it. A little late for that, Bishop, but okay. Now, it's interesting because these were some of the main people fighting to get them out of there, but now that they see that Hope and Harmony really was trying to pull a fast one on them, now they want to run back to Bishop and Lady May. Now, Grace at that moment receives a call from Darius, who tells her that he knows Bob Whitmore is there with a hidden agenda. So she goes to go meet up with him and learn more about what he got going on. So it turns out Bob is actually running for Congress, and the acquisition of a black church, a primarily black church, with mixed race and mixed family, and of course Phil being married to his daughter, it will put him in a good light for the community to secure the vote for Congress, okay? That's his whole plan. Now, meanwhile, Bishop decides to tell Lady Mae that after speaking with the sisters, he has come to the light after seeing the power that she commanded when she did the day with Lady Mae while he was sick. He now realizes that they definitely need to walk away from all this. Start their own church, free and clear. He then acknowledges his own shortcomings and tells her that they need to go down to City Hall right now and get married. Now keep in mind, y'all, Lady Mae been praying and fasting and starving herself, so she feels like this is the sign that God is showing her right now in this moment. So back at Phil's apartment, we see Phil removing all of Charity's pictures and, kind of just trying to erase her presence from the apartment because he's preparing for Judy to be there. And he gets fixated on one of Charity's photos. And at that moment, he gets a knock on the door. It's Charity. So of course he tries to hide the picture when she enters. And she attempts to return the ring that he gave her. But he tells her to keep it as a sign of his love. She asks him, if you love me, then why are you marrying Judy? He explains to her that this is his dream of running his church. It has been 20 years in the making and he can't let that go. She then asks him, but you can let me go? He stands there dumbfounded, and in his silence, she exits, and I don't blame her. He wants the church so bad that he's willing to marry a woman that he doesn't know and that he definitely doesn't love. Now back at Jacob and Carissa's crib, they're getting ready to go to the parent shotgun wedding. The tension in the room between them two is thick. She's trying to, orchestrate conversation with him, just talk to him about the details of the divorce, and yet and still Jacob is so mentally over it. He has no plans to fight her, he assures her. And she actually appears disappointed. It's like she lives for the fight with him. But she's basically throwing everything down the drain, where they probably could work through this. But at this point, she's threatening to leak the information about the will and put the scandal out there. She's been cheating, even though he's been cheating. It's just so much going on. I don't even know if reconciliation is an option for them at this point. Now, everyone is meeting up at Bishop and Lady Mae's, preparing to go to the wedding when Charity pulls up. She's shocked that she was even invited. She thought it was a joke after all. And then Miss Sophia shows up. She's all scantily dressed coming from the boys' house. And Lady Mae, tells her, hurry up and get up there and grab you a sweater and come on, girl. And Miss Zora calls her a skank up under her breath, totally taking her friend Nikki's side over her own cousin with regard to the boyfriend. Now, this is a complete turn of events considering how Sophia stood in the gap for Zora when she was in the midst of all that domestic violence situation the last couple of seasons. Now, at this moment, Grace pulls up, and the whole family's out front, and she asks Sophia, is AJ in the house? And she, was like, I don't know, I called for him, but I didn't see him. So Grace, being the mother hen that she is, she goes in the house looking for him. She sees his belongings are still there, so she calls for him, no response. She finds that the bathroom door is locked, and that mother's intuition or that pastor's discernment, one of the two, kicked in. She busts the bathroom door down only to find AJ sprawled out on the floor, y'all, with his wrist slit and blood everywhere. And in true Greenleaf fashion, y'all, this is where the episode ended. Y'all, this episode was so packed with drama, adventure, and suspense, and I am so here for it. Drop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I missed anything, if I left anything out. Will you all be following it? I know I will, and I'll be coming through every week with reviews and updates and commentary on the show. Until next time, y'all, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm Pandi of Pandi's Hair, Candy, and More. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.